This steak is made from plants, has 50 grams of protein, and no added fat. If you don't like cooking, watch this video. We're gonna make it together. Disclaimer, do not watch this video if you or someone that you love in the same household as you has celiac disease, because our main ingredient right here, gluten flour. So click out of this video, do not compromise yourself, but if you're still here and you're a gluten glutton, then keep watching, because this video is quite possibly going to change your life. So if you've been watching me for a while, then you know that I run Body Blueprint, which is an online coaching program for plant-based, peri and postmenopausal, and even postpartum women. However, before I went all in on that program, I was working as a biomedical engineer, doing my little side passions of training people at the gym, nutrition consulting, and recipe development. So this is one of the very first recipes that I've ever created, perfected. It changed my life. And it was actually funny because last week, one of my clients, shout out Margaret, dug this up from the archives and started making it in her salad. And she sent me a picture of it. And she said, Rose, I've been loving your seitan recipe in my salads. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know my clients look that deep into the recipe catalog. And I figured this could be something that could really help you too, because you can just kind of set it and forget it type recipe. And then you could just have it in your fridge. It lasts up to 10 days. And then you could chop it up, put it in your salads, in soups, bring it with you, a little pimp action, protein in my purse, in the baggie, and you can even freeze it. So it's really great, and I'm excited too, because if I make this recipe with you, then I will have it this week, and I won't have to worry about food prep. So what we're gonna need is this bag of organic Vital Wheat gluten. This is the main ingredient. It is the protein extracted from flour. So a lot of people in the whole food plant-based community have mixed feelings about seitan because it's technically not a whole food, but I really like it, especially if you're trying to build muscle, if you're active in the gym, if you're in that age where you need more protein. Ladies, I'm looking at you. It's awesome. And it's a lot better than just going to the grocery store and getting any kind of vegan meat that you see, because there's a lot of additives and a lot of added sodium. And if you make this at home, first of all, it's so much cheaper. 3 servings of seitan now costs $7, which is ridiculous. You can get, let's see, 60 servings here for this is like 15, 16 bucks. So it's very expensive right now. Make it at home. It's a lot easier. And if you are someone who is trying to get their protein in, but you keep going over your calories, then I've developed what I call my blueprint guide. This is the same nutrition method that we teach our private clients, but I made a guide. And having seitan as one of your protein sources throughout your day, super helpful. So just click the link in the description for that guide, and I'll also put the recipe to this in there as well. So we are going to start out with our seasonings. We are going to do 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. So sometimes my clients see this and they've never had it before, and they're like, Rose, you want me to have baker's yeast? Very different. This is a seasoning. It is also a complete protein. So 2 tablespoons of this is going to have 5 grams of protein, which is great. I personally love, and shout out to Kristen, one of my other clients, but I personally love what Kristen does, which is she massages her kale salad with lemon and with nutritional yeast, and you could do a dash of olive oil if you have oil. And if you massage the kale like that, it gets super easy to chew. It's really delicious, and it tastes like cheese. Now, if my Italian grandma is watching this, she will rebuke me on that. It doesn't taste like cheese. But if you've been whole food plant-based or vegan for well over a decade, then it's going to taste like cheese to you. And then we're going to do some seasonings. So this is actually a blend that I found here, and it has no added sodium, and it has all the seasonings that I want. So it has peppercorns, garlic, onion powder, paprika, even sumac, and a little black truffle. So I'm just going to do a tablespoon of this instead of adding all of them separate. Okay, so next we're going to do the gluten flour. So we are going to do 1 cup, which is 120 grams. So we're going to add this 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that onion powder. And then we are just gonna whisk these dry ingredients together. And then we are going to add in our liquids. So I do not have veggie broth. If I had veggie broth, I would be adding that in. However, we're going to be doing water. And you can also add in a soy sauce or a tamari. The reason why you want to do that is because if we're talking about quality of protein, seitan does not have all the levels of amino acids that help us build muscle. It doesn't mean that you can't have it on its own. However, you just need to make sure that the other proteins in your day are adding those levels that are not all the way to the top. So one of the amino acids that seitan or whole grains don't have is lysine. So if you add in a tamari or a soy sauce, those are high in lysine, or a chickpea flour, something from a bean. So what I like to do is add in a little bit of soy sauce, but I don't have that either. So we're just gonna add in water, and you do the same amount of water as the dry ingredients. So it's just a 1-to-1 ratio. And if anyone picked up on that, I do pronounce water a little bit differently. How do you say it? Water, water. So we're going to add this in. And then what we're also going to do is add in 1 tablespoon of some kind of nut butter. I would do tahini, actually. It's a little bit more savory, and it has calcium. But we're going to add in almond butter because I have just a little bit left in here and I want to use it up. Okay, so now we are going to mix her together. It's going to look like this, but a dough is going to soon form. Okay, so it's going to start to look like a brain. So just like this. And now is the part where you're going to want to knead it. And just for a minute, just to get it nice and just chewy on that texture and nice and dense. So at this point, we have a couple different ways that we can make it. And I've made it differently, but I wanted to do just the easiest way today. So we're gonna oven bake it. So what you're gonna wanna do is preheat your oven to 350. What you also can do is make it on the stove and steam it. So if you have a steamer, or if you just wanna put a veggie broth up on the stove, you can, at this point, split it into 4 like little logs. I'll show you. You would split it into a log, and then you would wrap parchment paper around it, and then foil, and then tie the ends off with some kitchen twine, and then dump it in your steamer or dump it in your pot, and then have that cook for about, I would say, like 20 to 30-ish minutes, depending, and then remove it and let it cool. But what we're gonna do here is just plop it on our baking sheet, put it in the oven, set it, forget it, and we're gonna put it in for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna take it out, see what it looks like, and add some barbecue sauce to it. Because if you do it this way, then this is something that if you're grilling later, you can just throw it on the grill, bring it to your little barbecue, have your meat eating friends ask you a lot of questions about it, and that is that. Okay, so here she is. Ooh! We're gonna put her in the oven, and then we'll be back in about 20 minutes. She is fresh out of the oven, and now we're gonna add our barbecue sauce and pop her back in a little bit more. So this step, of course, is optional. You can use any kind of sauce that you want, or you can keep it plain. I honestly keep it plain and throw it into my salad, but I'm actually going to a barbecue today, so I do want to bring this. So we're going to add some barbecue sauce to here. Let's swap them up! Marinate a little bit, just for some flavor. Ooh. Okay, and then we're going to put them back in the oven for just 10 more minutes. And there you have it, delicious steaks to have the whole week of meal prep or to bring to a barbecue. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for next week because we're coming back with another recipe. See you guys later.